And we're back now with our campaign quick check. Joining us in the studio, David Brooks, the conservative columnist of the New York Times. I must say, David, you seem to have your doubts about Sarah Palin there for a while, but after the debate, you thought she nailed it.
I thought she did a good job. I mean, I don't think she's qualified to be president, because I like experience. I like somebody who's read a few more books, experienced a few more things. But she set out a strategy, and she met the strategy. Republicans before were extremely nervous. They were looking at that debate from behind a couch, terrified. And she did two things. She showed she wasn't George Bush, and she showed she's something different. Now, it's not my cup of tea, but she did what she set out to achieve. And I sort of like the fact her confidence and her poise. I mean, in this country, everybody thinks they can be president, whether they deserve it or not. And she thinks that. I sort of admire the gumption in that and the cleverness which she displayed.
How would you size up the race right now? Obviously, this economic situation seems to have changed it.
Yeah, and the politicians don't get that. I still think, especially in the McCain camp and a little less in the Obama camp, they don't understand what's happening on Wall Street. They are out of touch with the potential serious recession. Some people talk about a depression. They don't understand how the same political tactics that they've used before, going after liberal, that's not going to work now because something has overshadowed it. And that overshadowing, that economic anxiety is just going to dominate the next 5 weeks. There's no way around that. And if they're not touching that, then they're not touching the core issue. And John McCain has not done it, and he hasn't done it over the weekend where they've been attacking Obama for being too liberal or not loving America enough. And, you know, he has a bad week. Chicago Cubs had a pretty bad week. He had a bad week. If you look at the political landscape right now, he's now down 6 to 8 points. A lot of the key states which he was hoping to pick off that were Democratic states before, like Michigan, pretty much off the board. He's got to basically win every state he's defending. The Bush Republican states from 4 years ago to have a prayer at this thing, and a lot of those are in jeopardy.
So you take these polls seriously because they did show that Barack Obama, for the first time, began to open up not a big lead, but a clear lead in some of these battleground states.
Right. This race is pretty mature. I mean, people know who these people are. They've seen them a few times. They're going to see them a few more. God knows what can happen. This is a very strange election year, but they've seen the two. Everything is stacked against John McCain because of the, 3 terms, the economy, everything's stacked against the guy. And what Barack Obama is able to do is be no drama Obama. He has had no bad surprises, no erratic behavior, to use a Democratic talking point word. And so people want change. If he can be fine and trustworthy, which I think Obama and Biden achieved in their first 2 debates, then the people want to go with him. And so nothing has shaken that up. I'm sort of impressed by how Obama has run such a, basically not a great campaign, but no mistakes.
Do you think it's going to get nastier and nastier? It does look as if McCain is really going on the attack. You saw what Sarah Palin said.
Right, liberal, and she botched. There's a legitimate point in there, a belief in American exceptionalism. Americans can stand alone because we're an unusual nation. But she botched the argument of that. And I just don't think that's going to work this year. Republicans have been using this attack. Too dangerous, too liberal, too long. They used it against Paul Wellstone, a senator in Minnesota, about a decade ago. It's worked less and less each time. This economic crisis changes the climate of the country. We were in a conservative era where conservatives could win running conservative versus liberal campaigns. Because of this economic crisis and a bunch of other stuff, we're no longer in a conservative era. You can't win that way anymore. You better win the way of this new era. And I'm afraid the Republicans are not adapting to this new era.
All right. David Brooks, thank you so much.